Hi everyone. As mentioned in the previous video, um, the League of Nations has its own set of hit and misses. Despite its hits or successes, many would argue that the League of Nations failed. It failed because it failed to prevent the development of World War II. So in this lesson, we will look at the two sets of major reasons why the League of Nations failed. First of all, are the structural weaknesses. Structural weaknesses here refer to the weaknesses that are inherently within the League of Nations. Secondly, are the post-war attitude. The post-war attitude that resulted in members of the League of Nations refusing to contribute its worth, um, refused to pull their weights, and as a result, made the League of Nations weak. The first reason that got to do with structural weakness is the fact that you have various parts of the League of Nations not being able to work together. First of all, you must understand the League of Nations is a very new concept, a very new organization. Surely there are teething issues. The Secretariat was also understaffed and pretty much disorganized. Very importantly are the requirements set by the League of Nations to make decisions. First of all, you need unanimous agreement within the Council. As long as one member of the Council refuses to agree to a proposed set of action, that set of action cannot be taken. This pretty much will stall the League of Nations, preventing it from taking action towards an offending nation, especially if the offending nation is a member of the Council. Apart from the Council, which needed unanimous agreement, you need two-thirds agreement within the Assembly as well. So due to the extent of agreement that's needed for the League of Nations to make decisions, it is very difficult for the League to come together, agree on something, and then enact a decision. So as a result, it failed to reverse the aggression in more than just a few occasions. The League of Nations, being a product of the Paris Peace Conference, as well as being encapsulated in the Treaty of Versailles, lack authority and credibility. Germany, for example, who hated the Treaty of Versailles, would certainly not respect the League of Nations and would indeed sought to frustrate the League of Nations. The tools employed by the League of Nations are or were weak as well. Moral persuasion certainly would not work in most circumstances. Basically, the public condemnation and criticism of offending nation has no weight on the offending nation, and as a result, one would not expect that the offending nation would change its action just because of public condemnation. Military sanction and economic sanction would work only if member states or member countries of the League of Nations are willing to pull its weight, are willing to contribute to the military sanction or economic sanction. If members of the League refuse to send their troops because it doesn't want to, to take casualties, or refuse to enact an economic punishment because an economic punishment, for example, the seizing of goods sold to an offending nation would certainly affect the economy of the member that seek to participate in economic sanction. More importantly, or very importantly as well, you have limited memberships within the League of Nations. Germany was not allowed to join until 1926, and Russia was not allowed to join until 1934. So as a result of that, the League was unable to rope Germany or Russia in any of its decisions, alright, that could contribute to world peace. Very importantly, and this is something you must know, US wasn't a member of the League of Nations. And that is the most peculiar thing because you should know that the League of Nations was an idea proposed by the US President Woodrow Wilson after World War I. Unfortunately for Woodrow Wilson, he would return to America, and very shortly it would be the end of his term as president. Another president would take over and then embark on an entirely different US foreign policy, and that is the policy of isolationism. US do not want to participate in the affairs of any countries around the world. It doesn't want to be involved in a major conflict in any part of the world to defend the interests of other countries. Basically, USA sought to look inwards and be contented in taking care of its domestic issues. So because USA wasn't part of the League of Nations, and USA is at the time a superpower, a global power, USA was the one country that could offer strong economic and military support to the League of Nations. Unfortunately, the most powerful country at the time refused to participate, and hence the League of Nations was weak. So, due to the lack of membership, not a lack of membership, but incomplete membership, collective security and disarmament of every nation was impossible. You can't basically get every nation in the world to disarm when not everyone, not every country in the world is a part of the League of Nations. And as mentioned, without USA, no one had the real power to impose the League of Nations decision. The second set of reasons, apart from structural weakness, to why the League of Nations failed was because of attitude, post-war attitude of major global powers. As mentioned, you have US isolationism, while US sought to look inwards, it sought to take care only its domestic policy, therefore refused to participate in overseas entanglements. It refused to contribute to the League of Nations. The League of Nations failed to enlist the aid of the most powerful country in the world, and as a result, the League of Nations failed. If there's one country in the world that can contribute large amount of troops or participate in an economic sanction without hurting its economy significantly, that would be USA. Unfortunately, USA was not part of the League. The next two powers were Britain and France. However, due to the horrors of World War I, alright, the major losses that they had suffered, Britain and France refused to take aggressive actions against offending nations. Basically, this is what we call the policy of appeasement, or they had an appeasement mood. Appeasement here means their inclination to negotiate rather than to confront foreign countries, alright, offending countries. So as a result, you have, for example, something which you need to know in the following chapters will be the rise of Germany, alright, Germany taking a path towards more and more aggressive foreign policy, participating in conflict that's beyond self-defense, enlarging its armed forces, enlarging its territories. Britain and France stood aside to negotiate with Hitler rather than taking actions against Hitler or Nazi Germany. And due to their inaction, right, a series of events happened, spiraling into World War II. Last but not least, you have a general distrust among countries. Countries are still suspicious of one another and therefore refuse to disarm. Remember, disarmament is a major approach that the League of Nations sought to achieve world peace. However, that concept is airy and fairy. No one wants to disarm. Everyone is afraid of being invaded, and as a result, countries still maintain significant ability to wage wars, and therefore, war was a possibility at the time. So, what contributed to the failure of the League of Nations? Two major reasons, structural reasons that are within the organization of the League of Nations that limits its ability for success, and post-war attitude, especially the attitude of major world powers at the time, USA, France, Britain, right? And to some extent, every country in the world who refuse to disarm because they're suspicious of one another. This is the end of the lesson. Thank you very much.